A very warm welcome to one and all in this new fresh episode of Pharoscion Global, supporting Make in India, Vocal for Local and Atmanirbhar Bharat campaigns started by Union Government of India. And today we have a power couple with myself. And why I'll tell you that? Because with the expertise which they bring on stage as on table two will make sure that they have achieved quite a lot, and they are helping now a lot of local businesses as well in order to grow. They both are Hemant particularly is from engineering background, then came to commerce side as well, and Aditi is a CA herself. And while speaking to both of them, I realized that there is a lot I have to learn myself in order to grow Pharoscion too. So first of all, welcome on board, and thanks for giving time to me and to the company as well. And I'm quite sure that visitors gonna go gaga about how you too have achieved what you have done and how you are helping other businesses as well. So welcome on board, and I would ask each of you to please enlighten about yourself, and we'll take it forward from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishi. So I'm basically Hemant. I started my career with ICICI Bank as a story of a three-idiot, an engineer and a management graduate by profession. So I'm MBA in finance from IBS. And after that, I took assignments with ICICI Bank in 2009. Then till 2013, I was with ICICI Bank, and then the later assignment I had with Axis Banks. Finally, 2014, I quitted my job. I told my better half, man, it's enough is enough. We cannot continue this much.
You could say that? I didn't know you could say that.
He did.
So finally, I said that, and I started Core Financial Services as a vision of a one-stop financial solution for their client. Yeah. And by the grace of God, till now, we're succeeding pretty well in doing the same.
That's fantastic to hear. And Aditi, yeah.
Yeah, so let me just quickly introduce myself. I am Aditi Sharma, a chartered accountant by my qualification and a postgraduate. I did all my studies from Mumbai. So, as Hemant rightly said, it was just about like a year of my marriage, and then he was like, okay, we'll stop all kind of job thing and all that. And we started this venture in the name of Core Financial Services, wherein the vision and the motto of ours was very clear: to help out people, to help out businessmen and service class people know and understand their finances much better, and they should not be like cheated upon and violated by the general market norms, whatever is happening. It's very sorry state, but it's a matter of fact that most of the Indians are not enlightened about how perfectly you have to go about with your money, how money can make money. So such kind of education is also missing at large in India, particularly if we talk about. So our objective and our motto was very clear. We worked since the beginning with much modesty, and still we continue to do that.
That's fantastic to hear. And my second question was actually related to the same stuff. So if you could, any of you can talk about, what's the exact background story of CFS? Like, how did it really get started? What's that one incident happened in any of your life which made sure that the time has come and this is the right time to start CFS?
Okay, so the story went way back in 2014, I would say.
Okay.
2013 and precisely. So I was already disgusted with the kind of job affair I was doing in, because in banking system there was a bottleneck when started of the career. So I told you that I'm MBA into finance, and doing a specialization in security analysis and portfolio management, you ought to realize few of the things across that which product is good and which product will not do good for the client. So basically, kind of the things which are having over in the banking system at that point of time. So I felt that there is a huge gap, as in the clients have been not served properly, and there were more emphasis on the sales part rather than solution oriented things. Because at the end of the day,
misleading sales.
At the end of the day, I would say what is more important for a client is a solution.
Absolutely.
So the idea was starting core was pretty simple, that we have to have an end-to-end solution and an unbiased advice. Because if you are sticking to a particular bank, then if I am with X bank, then I have to give a solution to X bank only. But I know Y is better. So we thought to create an unbiased advice for our clients, and we tried to give them an end-to-end solution in terms of everything what they're looking out for, and that's to in-house.
That's fantastic. And the very last sentence, that's to in-house. So that's the focus of this interview as well. Keeping in mind that there are a lot of companies now who are advising on financial grounds, but when there are people available who have certain amount of experience, and then they decide that I would like to help companies, I would like to help individuals in order to grow their wealth, then CFS comes into picture. So if we can discuss in a bit more about how it actually helps in, let's say, if I have a certain amount of money and I would like to invest it, and I would like to get advice from both of you, then how does the complete process go, if any of you can enlighten?
Yeah, so basically, to elaborate on it, I'm a certified financial planner. I'm a CFP also by profession. And Aditi is a chartered accountant, so she has a taxation background all through. So the processes we have defined pretty simple. We follow FPSP India practices. So entirely for a retail client, as you have asked, how we gonna help you in a round if you have some money lying in.
Yeah.
So if precisely, I would say every person, whomsoever it is, has basically three things in the mind. One is emergency planning. What we have seen in the COVID situation, that there are a lot of people who have lost their jobs at a time in COVID. Yeah. So emergency planning is something whereby we try to inculcate a practice into a client where they can save in the money, at least bare minimum 6 months of their expenses. So there are certain tools available into the industry whereby we recommend them to make sure that this kind of an expenditure, which is unforeseeable, which has to be utilized in emergency, it is readily available with the client. That is number one. Number two, we help our clients in terms of prospecting their contingency also. So wherein the roles, again, going through COVID times, we have seen unprecedented deaths, what happened in 2021. There are a lot of people who were the main bread and butter earners of the family, they have passed away. So at that point of time, the role of a term insurance plays a very vital role. As you know, during the period of time, the role of term insurance came into the picture and people are recommended. But what exactly should be the amount of a cover a person should have? There are certain calculations for that. It is based out on the income method and the expenses method. Then we try to devise a perfect solution by recommending maybe health insurance with a super top up and anything, but that solution has to suit the client. So that is number two. We came into the picture by giving them contingency planning, and the third and the most important is the goal planning. So goal, I would say, in terms of short-term goals, long-term goals, everyone has it. Even if I talk about myself today, I have two kids. The younger son is 1.5 years old, and my elder son is 6 years old. This day before yesterday on the breakfast, we were just talking about our child's education, then where we are planning it. So this is one of our biggest goal a person thinks of, that in terms of his education, where we are planning in, and looking at the cost of education, how the inflation is going up. So it is very important कि हम उसको आज plan करके चले, जिससे हमारे को उस point of time पे परेशानी नहीं हो. So this is a goal planning. So goal, it can be anything. It can be child marriage. It can be buying a house, maybe buying a car. For salary individual, it is retirement is one of the most important goals a person is always worried of, because these days pensions are not available. So what kind of a portfolio mix, what kind of an asset allocation has to be done, what kind of an stocks, what kind of a mutual fund, what are the various instruments, NPS, PPF, a person should how to diversify the portfolio in exact means. So in short, if we say, we let know the person what his present financial situation is, where you want to go in the future, and how to go into that future. We help them to devise a perfect strategy for the same. So we prepare the entire financial kundli. पंडित के पास जाके पैसे देते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं कि जन्म पत्री देख ले, हम फाइनेंशियल जन्म पत्री पूरी बना देते हैं.
So then we have 21st centuries or 21st centuries eras preached with us, particularly in financial domain. So I have a attached question with it, that trust is also a very important factor. Let's say, and I'm being very honest and being very blunt here. Let's say if I have a certain amount of money with myself, and I have decided that I have to pick one, and then there are two companies available. CFS is on the right hand side. So why should I really come to CFS and should not go to some other company? If you can talk about that as well.
As I told you earlier, the first and foremost thing that we are the only company who are doing the things on the financial planning background. So I answer your question like this. Say if I have to move out to a destination and I buy an auto on the road and I just say to him, मुझे कहीं जाना है. The auto driver would say to me, भैया जाना कहाँ है? What is more important is to define location. So ideally for us, what is more important for you is to define a goal. Then only we are in a position to advise, else we are not. That is where the role of us come into play as financial advisors.
Basically,
it is not a kind of a robo advisory that we give.
What differs us is, I will just answer this question. What is so different about us is we started this concept with a very holistic view. So 360 core financial services was the agenda. As in, under one roof, we have a team of chartered accountants, we have financial experts, and we have a number of various divisions happening. So anybody who is into the question marks era कि हमने इतने पैसे हैं हमारे पास, हमें क्या करना है, हम अगर फाइनेंस को इधर सेविंग करेंगे तो वहाँ टैक्स लग रहा है, अगर टैक्स को बचाना है या प्लान करना है तो हमें किस तरीके से जाना है, where to invest, either it is mutual funds, either it is land, either it is gold, or just put it in your piggy bank. So it is creating a holistic view, which is our USP. The umbrella of finance.
What Aditi is saying is, even if you're worried about the taxation matters, you don't have to go anywhere around. So the taxation advice, so investing advice, you're talking of loan advice, you're talking of project finance advice, you talk of anything, we have available in-house only. So we have experts, we have team members who are absolutely, they're pretty professional and quite sound in the domains. So a person cannot just come for one thing. We have, I would say, from PAN card to project finance to portfolio management, we have everything in-house.
Till debt certificate.
So CFS is a one-stop shop. CFS is a one-stop
Exactly,
shop.
that is the holistic view, and that is the
one-stop solution. One-stop solution. That is the name what we derived, like 360 core financial services. That think about anything under the head of finance, and we can provide you the services, which is quite a lot of USP in itself. There are hardly few people in India who are carrying such huge service
umbrella
class
services.
What we do. And of course, we are professionals, we are chartered accountants associated. So the trust automatically somewhere it develops, So that answer your questions, why you should opt for somebody like us and not for any other company. First of all, we are very client-centric. And we would never advise on the basis of going against the client's wishes or his benefit, even if for that matter we might lose a client or earn somewhere less. That doesn't matter. But of course for us, the prime objective is client satisfaction, and to achieve those goals we strive really hard. So whatever the financial kundli, what Hemant was talking about, it takes in-depth study of around 7 days for the whole team to work upon it and to give a proper solution to you. All right. So this is what creates a kind of confidence to the client that fine, my money is secured and I am financially very much secured. So we go into that kind of a connect, we build up that kind of a trust with the person so that he feels confident enough and comfortable enough to even discuss the private financial matters, which is not generally known in the family as well.
Understood. That's fantastic to hear, and I'm quite sure that viewers who are actually currently watching now can understand that why CFS particularly and why not some other company. And most important, it's a one-stop shop. You really need not to go anywhere else for your financial desires or financial goals. moving ahead, so when you first started, what's that something which was in your mind that okay, it's gonna be challenging, but later you realize that it's more challenging than what you really expected it to be. So maybe a couple of challenging things which you faced while you were building this company.
There were many challenges. There were many challenges.
Yeah. And if you have to
lots and lot of challenges we face there. Lots and lots of challenges. I mean, if we
have come along.
Even if we, when both of us sometimes talks and look back where we were in 2013, how we started, and where we are as of now, we have crossed lots and lots of hurdles. The basic hurdle was, I would say, being a banking professional and then coming into a services domain. Suddenly, out of the blue, the client doesn't have that initial confidence with you. Then you deliver that kind of services. Yeah. And that the trust develops, the client is with you. So I would say we faced everything. We have faced the heat of the moments. We have done a lot of things in terms of development, structure, infrastructure. We do a lot of R&D in terms of research and development. We spend a lot of money into research just to make sure of one thing, that the client is satisfied, number one. Except of that, we try to develop new strategies in terms of our softwares, constantly upgrading them, constantly trying to make them very user friendly with the clients, because we were pretty new into the system and we just can't compete with bigger brands at that point of time. So, rightly said by you that why would a person would trust us, the company which just started up. Yeah. So, over a period of time, what we have earned is what we have invested into the business only. And now we are reaping the fruit. We try to, in terms of adaptability, we are very much good in terms of technology. Yeah. Using technology platforms for our clients, using an end-to-end solution, trying to give a structured and a tailor-made solution. This is what our emphasis is on to. And on that front, I can proudly say that we are the company which is more so try to give a tailor-made solution to a client. It is not something generic. It is something specific for an individual, because every individual is different.
Every individual goal planning is created very differently.
And the best part is that even the person is looking out for some advice on taxations, maybe company taxation hogi, individual taxation loans or project finance, so everything is done by us only. So we have that much of a hold. The challenges there, but over a period of time, we sufficed and we move forward.
So initially, both of us really worked very hard upon one common goal, which is creating a kind of a goodwill. So on that, we really strived hard. And of course, the product and the knowledge goes hand in hand. So there were ups and downs, but we held on together. And we focused and we planned together how we can churn it about. So I think starting from 2000 of the revenue per month.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I'm telling you, it was a big time journey.
Quite a humble start, yeah. Quite a humble start. Like so far as I can relate to it. When we started, we had a revenue of 4,000 a month, and I can understand that. So
it was. Yeah. It is like, the thing is, I would always say why till the whatever journey we have reached out here, why we are able to move forward is one of the reasons is we have given an absolute unbiased advice to our clients. We're trying to deliver a structured and a tailor-made solution for them according to their goals, and tried to be in the bad times with the client. That is what is the biggest, you can say, USP for us. Yeah. And that helped us a lot. So at that bad time, if you do the hand-holding of the client pretty well, then I think you'll be able to succeed, and that trust generates.
Yeah.
We helped many of the clients during the worst times of their financial platforms, and they were all drenched out, and they were given bad advices by XYZ people. And they were fearing ki, I don't want to do any kind of R&D, any kind of new investments, or forget about old investments. So such kind of aspects were also there, and we were pretty much new in the market. So yeah, it took a lot of time and efforts and strategy for both of us to design the format. But yes, of course, the vision was very clear of what we want to create in the market, which is very new, very niche. So we strived hard and we believed in the product what we are getting in the market. So that is the reason I held on to that. Really held on to the basic product.
That is really good to hear, and I myself have personally checked, the app on Play Store as well, and I can recommend to everybody. Yeah, they do have app available as well. There are certain features available for free. Let's say SIP calculator is available as well. I've checked it recently, and you can actually do your planning as well on those features which are available on particular app. So if we take look back, and go to your journey, what's that one lesson which your particular jobs has taught you that you think everybody who is in this journey should be actually consider or should be actually taking lessons from and move ahead? So one lesson during the journey so far, if you both of you can talk about.
One lesson that I would surely try to give to individuals who are into salary is into their jobs, respective jobs, that I always tell that one of the most important part, that's what I have seen across to my experience of my career, is people generally think that income minus your expenditure is what is equals to savings. I mean, whatever the income is, whatever I expenditure, there's a misconception.
ऐसे बोलते हैं कि I don't have money to save. हमारे पास तो बचता ही नहीं है कुछ भी.
Look at your expense there.
So what I generally do is try to change the mathematics once we checked out their cash flows, and we try to get into the proper system of cash flow, and then we tell them, boss, hang on, income minus your savings is equals to expenditure.
Expense. We teach like that. Ki income minus your savings is whatever is left.
Is expenditure. So this is a lesson what I have given to so many people whom they know me pretty well. I mean, by just adapting to that equation, people have gained out of it. People have learned out of it. Yeah. And surely, I would advise, and what I've learned, that financial planning is what is everyone requires, because it is the person whomsoever is earning, maybe he's into a business or in a job or he has a family. These goals are in back of a mind, always rotating. I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that. The thing is, you need to plan for it, and the kind of literacy levels, what people are still, what I have assumed, is not aware exactly that how it can be done.
I understand,
because in our country, what the basic problem is, whatever the person says, if somebody X is saying that this is good, person Y buys that. Person says Z, that is good.
They want tips.
But people forget that every individual is different.
The goals are different.
Absolutely. No.
So that would be my advice. That this is very much important. People should take it seriously.
And Aditi, I'm quite sure you echo words of Hemant already. But apart from this, also, if you'd like to also talk about any one lesson which people should take care and should learn from.
I would really recommend everybody, whatever age you are, there's no correct age of starting to save. It creates a huge financial security, nothing less than that. It creates a kind of confidence in you that whatever the case may be, I have a backup, I have a purpose, I have a wealth created, and it is from my own savings. So it gives you a boost, it gives you a confidence to take up decisions at the correct time. So we come across many people who do hanky-panky businesses, and at the end of the day, they say that I don't have any kind of backup. Why? But if you see the salary what these guys have earned, we wonder how such kind of a person who's earning this much of salary has not even saved a penny, and not even planned to do anything about it. So that is a kind of a suggestion to everybody. Start early. Start at whatever age you are, whatever earning you have. एक आदत बनाओ to plan your finances for the bad times to come. COVID has taught us enough that anything can happen on this planet and any time can happen.
Very
so
true.
We have to be like, taking care of inflation, taking care of so many things happening in this government. You have to be conscious enough. You cannot just go, I don't understand. If you don't understand finances, take professional help. There are people over there who can really guide you very well. Have trust, have confidence in them, and just start very early. That is the only thing. And be regular. That will reap benefits. For sure, it will reap benefits. So you can take major steps, major decisions, just if you're having a backing of a good amount, a good wealth focus.
Understood. So consistency is very important. That also, as a lesson, I think people should be considering. So based on the market volatility which we have, does financial planning, changes, or how do you really adapt to that as well? Let's say, the market is very volatile, or let's say there are changes in interest rates, etc. So does it really affect somebody's or anybody's financial planning? And if so, then how CFS actually takes care of that?
Yes. So it's a good question. Basically, you're right. If there are the macros and there are changes in the domestic market and the international markets, obviously it gets an impact. The portfolio too gets impacted. Where we come into the picture, I would like to elaborate here that financial planning process is a 6-step process. In the 6th step, whereby once we have given the recommendation to our clients, we review the portfolio. So our process is like we quarterly review the portfolios on either some portfolios on quarterly basis, some on half-yearly basis. So as per the client goals and as per the domestic market situations, so we change the portfolio accordingly to as per the situations of the market.
Okay. That's
so the review of the portfolio has been done regularly by us, and we try to recommend and change or shuffle the portfolio in a way that the client gets the minimal impact of what is happening.
Okay, that's really good to hear.
So balancing effect, if you can say.
Exactly.
Okay, so where do you guys see CFS, let's say 3 years or 5 years down the line, so that our viewers also get a clear picture of what company is actually looking after from the future too, if you can talk about that.
CFS after 5 years, we both what we think CFS after 5 years may be one of a leading financial institution in financial consulting firm. We would be known as a name, as in in their chartered accountancy profession, we know the Big Four pretty well. Yeah. These are Big Four auditing firms. So in our domains, we want to be the number one in the industry. If a person is thinking of financial planning, the first name a person can think of would be a core financial services.
Yeah.
That is the whole broad vision of the company.
That's fantastic to hear, and very interesting question. And I was actually asking my team that, okay, putting this question, does it really make sense? And they were like, you absolutely, at least for people who are in finance, it makes sense. So let's say you both go back 10 years, and then you have to give one piece of advice to yourself. So what it would be?
10 years back. Now that's a difficult one. If I go 10 years back and the advice that I really want to give it to myself, I would sure. I actually, I actually personally feel that an advice what I would try to give myself is to be more into, you can say, more into the knowledge-driven platforms, knowledge-sharing platforms, or maybe reading. As of now, over a period of time, I've realized that what is the more important tool and what is the more important tool a person could have is knowledge. So I read a lot. I try to read books related to my subject, I try to read something which is related out of a life also. So reading is one thing which I would suggest that way back 10 years, I developed this habit from last 4 or 5 years of reading. So if say 10 years back, if I would love, then I would have tried to increase that habit of reading.
And what about you, Aditi?
Maybe I've 10 years down the line minus 10 years less of experience. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was pretty new and I would have been advising myself go for it, just don't think and just spread out the wings much more. And the things what we started we could have done it pehle bhi. So some kind of business ideas evolved and much more maturity to handle clients, If we are stuck somewhere, we refrained at that times to take good advice from experts, which I think we should have.
Correct.
We should have. So those are the pretty things where, I think we could have rectified ourselves. But nevertheless, all the experience teaches you something. Nothing goes for waste, that's for sure.
Absolutely. No denial of it. And maybe my very last question to both of you, that we see that this complete wave of make in India, vocal for local, and Atmanirbhar Bharat particularly, and now people are actually realizing the importance of Indian companies. They do trust still foreign companies, but they have started trusting more of Indian companies now. So these initiatives, how good are they for the companies like of CFS, and particularly we really believe that it is helping us in our business. So I would like to know from both of you that how does it really help you, and does it really give a major maybe a set of feeling that okay fine, as CFS is an Indian origin company and we do trust these people, so we should be opting for their services. Does it happen in the recent past, or do you believe that such initiatives are great started by Union Government of India?
Absolutely, there is no second thought about
Yes.
that.
100%.
I mean, why I am saying you that is we are into the domains of investment banking also. Once we do the valuation for startups, so kind of a trend which has been going on in around India is what we have seen. Approximately 20 unicorns that have been developed from Indian. These were initial Indian startup companies only. So this Make in India concept and the people who are coming up with the idea. So as this is one of the most beautiful initiative a person would have taken off, has been taken by our honorable Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Except of that, I would say the youth which is coming into it, the new generation which is there into a set of a business, they altogether have a different mindset. The traditional mindset had already gone by. They are people who are creators, I would say that.
Yeah.
This generation is creators generation, and it suits well to Make in India concept because these are the people who's going to take our economy forward.
True that.
So classic example is 20 unicorns. We can define that. So we know that these are Indians only who have created that. And it was that meager idea which became a huge business.
Absolutely. And 2022 particularly, I've seen that in the recent 4 months there have been so many unicorns, and all are
Absolutely.
obviously. So I do feel that the wave is actually on and people are taking advantage
It
of
will
it.
continue because on the demographics of India, where India has the biggest advantage is the youth.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest power of India, and India would surely prosper this. There is no second thoughts about that. Long-term story is quite good.
That's fantastic to hear.
Witnessing a economic revolution, you can say that.
We are under, and I feel that country is under a revolution of startups, and particularly the way we are enhancing in business terms as well. That's fantastic.
It is a vicious circle. It is a vicious circle. The entire chain of businesses and the service sector are all. So it goes on and on. So this cycle should be appreciated and should be motivated to have this economic cycle and the chain full-fledgedly utilized.
Yeah.
And making India into the world map, it is some of the highlighting points, many FDIs have been attracted into India.
Yeah. And that
so I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the help of supportive government and the subsidies what these governments are providing, soon we can see a radical change.
Absolutely. Fingers crossed. And with this, we come to an end of this fantastic episode. And I wish CFS a great success ahead. And, like the work which you both are doing is quite phenomenal. And Pharoscion is very happy to have you host today. So that's all from this episode. And we shall be, seeing more such entrepreneurs who are building, who are helping India to be a great hub of business and for business. Thank you so much for your time. And we shall speak soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.